Hey gang, it's Ryan again over at bulletprooflease.com, a 31-page lease designed to protect you, the landlord. Okay, today, tip time, let's do this. So today's tip is on a specific commercial loan I'm gonna talk about, okay? And before I begin that, I'm gonna give you a scenario, okay? So I'm staying at a Vrbo, an Airbnb if you wanna call it that, whatever, for 6 months. I signed a 6-month Vrbo, who does that, right? Well, I'm having a house sort of built in Sarasota. So when I bought the house, I can't get a mortgage, right? I just can't. Ron can't get a mortgage, okay? Why is that? Well, because I don't have a job, right? So if you ever bought a house that you're going to live in, and you go to a bank to get a mortgage, and they say, okay, here's credit score, all these things. Where do you work is one of the questions, right? You want to see your W-2 and all that jazz, your tax returns. Well, and if you said to them, well, I'm unemployed, what would they do? They pretty much call security, right, and get you out of there. So, well, that's me, right? So I don't have a job. I don't have a W-2. I bought and sold God knows how much real estate. My wife and I owned and managed several hundred low-income rentals, but I can't go get a job or a mortgage for my house that I'm going to live in, okay? But there's always a but, right? But if I were to go buy a 10-unit building tomorrow, financing's virtually guaranteed. But here's the thing, I hate using banks, right? So probably 50% of all the buildings I've ever owned, I've never went to a bank, right? So if I make an offer on a Monday, I'm looking to close Friday, hopefully, right? It depends on the title search and the lawyer's availability on both sides of the transaction, say. But it's quick, right? So that's why I hate banks. I hate banks, capital H, hard stop. But roughly 50% of the time, they've been necessary in my life. So how can I get a loan on a 10-unit building, but not on my own residence? Well, one is commercial, one's residential, right? So commercial is defined as 5 units and above. Think of it this way. That's easy. The bigger is easier. It's much easier. Hard is residential, 4 units and below, because they're loaning the money to you. How are you going to pay us back, Mr. Faraci, they say, right? Instead of on a 10-unit, how does the building pay us back? Get it? That's the difference, right? So one of those loan products was called a DSCR loan, debt service coverage ratio, it stands for, okay? And I'm not going to get into what it is and what that metric is, but think of it this way. It's a commercial loan, okay? Although you can have it on a myriad of, doesn't have to be a commercial property. I won't get into that. But it's no tax return necessary, no W-2, right? So if you don't have a job, you can go buy a 10-unit building. Now, the building has to meet certain metrics. Don't get me wrong. It can't just be any shit deal, okay? But super easy loan to get. And it's usually fixed for 25, even 30 years, as opposed to most commercial loans like 10-year fix, right? Then you got a refi, right? So look into DSCR loans. Great product, right? You pay a little bit more in interest, but the gap isn't that big these days. That changes all the time, and you pay some points too, So I'm not saying it's the cheapest loan out there, but it's definitely a good product. I've used it many times, even though I can go get regular bank financing. I didn't have to go DSCR route, but I found it easier. Plus, I can get it fixed for a lot of years. I don't have to refi under a timeline, things like that. So guys, check out mortgage brokers in your area. I like to use brokers. I don't usually like to go to a bank directly. Okay, a broker usually has better products, and there's a lot of them in your area. And these videos are seen all over the country, so I won't recommend them. But, my home state of Connecticut, I got a few that are just friggin' rock stars, okay? So anyway, guys, Google that. Ask them if they do a DSCR loan. But don't forget, F banks. Okay, guys, thanks for watching. Visit bulletprooflease.com. Thanks.